What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be taking you through my best setups for this week. We're going to be going through EURCAD and we're also going to be going through gold. So if that sounds interesting to you, make sure to stick around to the end of the video to see exactly what setups I'm looking at for this week. So let's get into it. Alright guys, so we will start with EURCAD and I will go through this starting on the daily time frame. So what we can see is that overall EURCAD has been in this uptrend for quite a while. If we go on the weekly, it's a lot clearer to see. As you can see, we have been in this extended uptrend. This area here is not really a major structure point, so it's fine that price broke through that because it was just literally coming to, as we can see, it came and tapped this weekly area of demand just below and took this out, seeing this area as liquidity. What we also did was create this sort of liquidity pool above in the form of equal highs. So going back to the daily, price has come into the extreme of the current leg of the trend, this being the swing low and this being the swing high. So if we draw that on, price has mitigated this level and now it has started to switch structure to the bullish side. As we can see, when we had price come up and break through this level, we had our change of character. We then have had a further break of structure just here, creating another higher low and another higher high. Price has now reacted from an area of supply just in here, but I think personally this is just a pullback and this area of supply doesn't carry enough weight to cause price to completely reverse and take out this low. I think it's much more likely that we will see price continue up and continue to break structure and continue this newly formed uptrend. So if we just look on the 4 hour and see what areas of demand we can see. So the first one that stands out to me, we obviously have this big imbalance in here, and immediately below we have this area of demand, which if we look on the lower time frame, swept liquidity to the left, created imbalance, and also led to the break of this structure. Also below, all of these areas of demand have already been mitigated. As you can see, price already came and retested this sort of area of demand in here, broke the structure, came back, created these equal lows, swept them with this area of demand, and then continued to move to the upside. So I'm not really interested in the sell side back down to this level. So what I'm going to be doing is simply being patient and waiting for price to retrace into this level, where we can then look for confirmation style buys to target some other levels of liquidity or imbalance up here. Ultimately, I do see price heading back towards this area of imbalance and possibly also to take out that weekly level of liquidity just up here, now that we have taken out this daily level of liquidity as well. So yeah, that's what I would see as an overall picture. Obviously though, we don't want to get in here and then target all the way up here, so it all really depends on how price comes into this area at the time as for what levels we look for take profits at. But for now, what we're going to be looking for is simply something like this, for price to come into this area, give us that confirmation, and then we can look to target maybe the current swing high of the trend, which would be this area just here. If price does manage to actually fell this area of demand, what we could also see price do is something like this. So if we get rid of that drawing, we can see that we also sort of, seeing this from a different perspective, we could say that price has actually induced this area of demand, as it never really tapped this sell to buy candle. As you can see, if we mark that on and refine it to this 4 hour candle just here, price never actually came and retested that level. It sort of came very close, induced it with this sort of mini trend line, but never actually came back and retested it. So what we could always see, if price doesn't hold this level and we don't get a valid confirmation, price may want to fall straight through this level, come to this second area of demand, where then we can look for an identical situation when we have confirmation style buys back up to the high. However, I think it's much more likely that price will react from this level if the uptrend is to continue, since this one took out the liquidity and is also in line with the trend. We don't really want to see this structure broken if price is to continue its bullish momentum. So how I'm personally going to view this is in terms of the more likely situation, which is that this area has already been mitigated, and now we look for price to come and mitigate the next level up, which is this one. So that's all I'm really seeing for EURCAD at the moment. So just a patience game, waiting for price to come into this zone. If we go over to gold now. Sorry to interrupt the video, guys, but I just wanted to let you know that you can copy all of my trades as a limit order, so you will always get the same entries as me in the link below. And I also have my full track record down there as well, so if you guys want to check that out, go do so now, and let's get back to the video. Gold at the moment looks like it's just been consolidating really, and hasn't really been doing that much. But if we look on the higher time frame picture, we can actually identify quite a nice looking setup. So following the trend, we have a lower low, a lower high, a lower low. So technically price is still bearish. This area here was our most recent break of structure. And what I noticed was that price had started to generate this trend line just here. And what we will most likely see is price will come and liquidate this trend line before we see any further moves to the downside, perhaps to take out this 1925 low. What I also saw was that we have this imbalanced area of supply just above the trend line. So here we can see that we have the imbalance, and we also have this 4-hour level of supply, which price has come very close to, but hasn't actually managed to reach just yet. So what we could potentially see is for price to come up from where it currently is, liquidate this trend line, maybe get like sort of a small retracement here on a fourth tap, but to sort of trap early sellers, and then for price to come all the way back up into this area of supply, where we will then see the true sells come in and perhaps come and take out this low. Obviously, we also want to wait for a confirmation at this level. We don't just want to set a limit, as price could always just go straight through. As for overall targets, I think more than likely before gold sees any more bullishness, we will definitely come into this sort of area, because at the moment we're sort of reacting from this area here, which in my opinion doesn't really carry enough weight to cause a complete trend reversal. And I think that more than likely price will make one final move down and come into this area of demand on the 4-hour, which, as you can see, swept liquidity, created this big imbalance candle, and was also induced by this pullback here. So that would be my outlook for gold. So if we draw on what I'm seeing is that price will come up into this area of supply. We look for a confirmation, something like this, and then price can come and we can target this 1925 low. So as of right now, that's all I'm seeing for gold. I'm not really interested in the buys. As I mentioned, price is technically bearish, so I'm only following the higher time frame trend, not looking for the buys up at the moment. So yeah, that's all I'm really seeing on gold at the moment. This sort of move down, price hasn't come into any significant areas of supply. We sort of just came to this liquidity area to generate more liquidity, which is why I see this here as a weak high that is more than likely going to get swept for price to come into this higher time frame level of supply. So if you guys found this video useful, make sure to drop a comment below, and also make sure to comment your thoughts on gold and EURCAD as well, and also any other pairs that you guys are looking at for the week ahead. So yeah, make sure to like, subscribe, and also if you want to copy all of my trades as limit orders so you always get the same entry as me, I'll leave a link to that in the description as well. But thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.